Hello. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time will be watching this video. So, in this video, I want us to discuss the questions on algebra and inequalities. As I have shown in my book, that this topic is will be there and it will carry many marks. See, in section A, it will be there. It will appear around question 8 to question 10. And again in section B, it will be around question 29 and 31. You can see there are many questions in this section especially. 29, 30 and 31. 3 questions, and some could be around even 5 marks. So you could find in total you have around 20 marks from this topic on algebra, because again here you have 8, 9 and 10. So I want us to look at some of those questions, algebra and inequalities. How are these questions tested? How do you expect to see these questions? So let us start with this question 9. However, we will look at first inequalities, so that when we don't jangle around the different questions, let us look at questions that are on inequalities. Then we will look at algebra maybe at the end of this video or in another video. Yes. Now here, question 10, you are asked a worker's daily earnings are at least 1,500 or 1,500 Kenya shillings. Which inequality best describes this? So, are at least. So what does at least mean? So we are saying that this employee gets 1,500 shillings or more. So 1,500 is included and is the least they are getting. So he could take home 1,600, 1,700, 2,000, 5,000, but will never take less than 1,500. So you need to know to indicate. You indicate X. Sorry, it is E. The earnings are indicated as E, and then you have 1,500 on one side. You either indicate greater, less. So this is greater sign. This is less. If you get confused, remember this less looks like L. It's an inverted L. So once you understand this, then it is obvious you get the greater sign. So this is less. Then you have this sign. Sorry. Greater or equal. Greater or equal. What about this? This is less or equal. Less or equal sign. So when you are given with this information, and again obvious, this one is an equal sign, equal, but we don't use it in inequalities. So out of these 4, which one do you think best fits this question? We are told the employee gets at least 1,500. So they get this or greater. So you have first this greater, and then you put this equal, because 1,500 is included. However, if the question had asked the employee gets more than 1,500, you wouldn't have had this sign, but for this case, that is the best answer, and the best answer here is D. Yes, question 10, D. So let me look for other questions on linear inequalities in this book. We have said this topic comes around question 29 and 31. Okay, so we have, yes, this one is a very good question. Now, question 28. The age of a primary school student must be between 6 years and 13 years, exclusive. Write a compound inequality to represent this information. So you are told a school student, a primary school student must be between 6 and 13 years. Kwa hivyo mwanafunzi asikue 5 years, asikue 4, asikue 2, asikue 14, 15. However, we want also to check whether 6 and 13 are included. When a student is 6 years, should he or she be in this school? We are told exclusive. This statement exclusive. It means 6 and 13 are not included. So that student must be 7, not 6. So you're going to put the 6 and 13 and the age. Age is A. You are told age A. So you're going to write you write A in between, then 13 on and 6 on the two ends. So you are told about 6 and 13 in this question. Now you are supposed to write, the first thing you are supposed to write is this: A katikati, 6 and 13. So then you have our signs. We had talked about less, greater, greater, less or equal, greater or equal. Now, which ones are you going to use? You are not going to use these ones because we are talking about exclusive. You are going to use either of these. So, the age 6 is less than the accepted age because we want at least now 7. So this one you put less. 13 you could also, 13 is also greater than A. So A is less because you are reading this one. You can compound inequalities. You are supposed to read like this. You can say 6 is less than A and A is less than 13. You understand? So 6 is less than A. If you were to split this, you would say 6 is less than A and A is less than 13. Then just something to add. If you are to rearrange this and start with A, yes, this one, and start with A, it would be A is greater than 6 when you put this one on the other end, because if you read this is 6 is less than A. So what about A? If 6 is less, so A is greater. So you say A is greater than 6. It is important to interrogate this. I hope it is not confusing. Interrogate it and understand better. Now, let us look at another question. Let us delete this. Another question here. Around 10. Okay. Yes, so in this question we are asked, which inequality represents x is more than 5 but not more than 10? So x is more than 5. So remember the choices again. We are saying x should be at the center. You have this question that is obvious. When you see x is not at the center, like section choice B, it does not make sense that x is less than 5, 5 is less or equal to 10, especially 5 is not equal. Yes, 5 is less, but it's not equal to 10. So this one is wrong. So possible choices should have an x at the center. This one also has ignored the 5, which is just says x is greater than 10. And actually it's wrong because we are saying x is more than 5 but not more than 10. X is not more than 10. So this one is also wrong. But you need to write the answer then before you even interrogate the choices. So we have said x should be at the center. X, then you have 5 and you have 10 on both ends. So you are told x is more than 5. So 5 is less than x. You see this part, x is more than 5, when you start with 5, 5 is less than x. So less like this. But not more than 10. So this x again is not more than 10. You have this. But is it inclusive anywhere? It's not inclusive. There is nowhere we are told is equal or more or something, anything like that. So the correct answer here should be, oh sorry, you can see we are told but not more than, so we are told x is more than 5. We are sure 5 is less, so 5 is less than x. Okay, but we are told x is not more than 10. It could be 10, but certainly not more. You understand that part? Not more than 10. So this one has an less or equal. X is less or equal than 10. If you look at this part, you would say x is not more than 10. It means it could be 10, it could be 9, it could be 7, 8, but no more than 10. But this part certainly reads as 5 is less than x, or x is more than 5. Good. So it is important to understand this English of maths. So the correct answer there was A. A. Yes. We go to the same paper around question. No, the same sample paper. Yes, question 28. We are told the value of x lies between 7 and 15, inclusive. Write the inequality representing this. Inclusive. So you will have, so you have 7x and 15. Sorry, 7x and 15. So what inequality do you put here? And you are told that the 7 and 15 are inclusive. So you know this one is 7 is less or equal to x, x is less or equal. By the way, it's also important to understand this, that when you have these two numbers, like you have x and 7 and 15, it is obvious when you are given such a number, it lies between, x lies between. So when x lies between these two numbers, you will always have this sign. Then now the question comes in, do you add this or do you add this on both ends, or you don't add anywhere, or you add on either of them? So kama uko confused, I'm not training you to guess, but kama uko confused, the first thing you write is this. Okay, the first thing you write is this, that you have 7 x katikati and 15. Then now you interrogate the question. You are told that x lies between 7 and 15. So 7 is less than x. So x iko hapo. But remember inclusive, you unaweka hiyo alama. Na pia this other end. So on all the questions I have done in this video, you can review and you'll see that all of them have a less or equal sign. Let us do another question so that you can do more practice and understand more. By the way, it is also advisable that while watching this video, you could read the question with me, pause the video, attempt, and then watch, cross-check what you have done with what I have shown you in this video. Remember, please, to subscribe to this channel because it encourages me to continue uploading more content so that you can benefit, and also please share with your friends. So here you are told which inequality represents x is more than 5, but okay, this one we had done. So let us do another one. paper. You are asked, a student needs to score at least 50 marks to pass an exam. Which inequality best describes this? So needs at least, tulisema at least inamaanisha nini? So this student needs to score 50 marks or 51 or 52. So when you want to write this inequality, is that we have m is greater, so you need to have the sign of greater, but these ones zote ziko less, no, but as A and C are wrong, so it needs first to be greater because m is at least, the max at least 50. Then the next part you ask yourself, is 50 included? Do we need the 50? If the student gets 50, do they pass the exam? Yes. So 50 is included. You put greater or equal to 50. Section B. So let us try the last question. Last question on this topic, so that you can do practice with the rest and you have the answers there. Let us look for one here. Yes, this question, this sample paper 5, I think, page 39. Write the inequality x is greater than 10 but less than or equal to 18. So, what did we say about this question? The first thing you write, the x, the unknown between the two numbers. So we are talking about 10 and 18. So write 10 here, x, and you have 18. And what did we say also about the signs? You put less and less. Then now you go ahead to interrogate the question and ask yourself, ama kuna mahali utaweka an equal sign, a less or equal sign anywhere. So you are told x is greater than 10. If you are to read this question starting with 10, you would say 10 is less than x. So 10 is less than x. This one is correct. You are not going to add anything. On 18, but, so x is greater than 10, but again x is less than or equal to 18. So it's less, x is less or equal to 18. There you have it. Easy, right? Yes, as easy as A, B, C, D. So remember to subscribe to this channel and share with your friends. Also, you can get this copy from me, Excelling KJSEA Mathematics. It will help you revise very well. This book is authored by myself, Victor Maura. See you in the next video.